You think a certified check is like money in your hand. It's not. It's only money in your hand if you cash it and you take the cash out. Because the government and the backing entity can go and take the money until it's been made 100% fungible. Fungible means cashed. The only downside with 100% owner finance is paying fees to lawyers and accountants and paying yourself a few shekels. And then, of course, then you refinance. And most of you don't have, and I say generally speaking, most of you don't have faith in yourselves because you got low self-esteem, no self-confidence. You look like shit. You dress like shit. And you blame it on the 21st century, the reason why you dress the way you do. 25 years ago, if you come to a seminar like this, you'd all be wearing suit and tie. This is my uniform. I don't go to sleep like this, but I mean, this is my uniform. It has been for a long, long, long time. If you want to get money from banks, dress like the president of your country. Unless you're from Pakistan or India or something, dress like the president or the prime minister of your country. You only have one time to make a first impression, kids. You come in looking like some of you, I wouldn't give you fucking toilet paper. Most of you, I'd be embarrassed the way you're dressed. If I leave here with anybody liking me, I failed. You understand what I'm saying? I failed. I'm not here to be your friend. You want a friend, go get a fucking dog. I'm here to drag your sorry ass across the goal line, no matter what it takes. And there's no better on the planet than me at doing it, as demonstrated by all the tens of billions I've created. Just look at this. Even the sorriest ones in here are probably 50 million. And there's a couple of billionaires out there. I got to strain to find one, but I mean, there are. The odds are there's at least 2 or 3 billionaires in this room to be. But would those 2 or 3 make the sacrifices necessary? The best advice is find something you love. Find something that can change 1 billion lives. Zuckerberg is a classic example. He changed more than 1 billion lives. You make 1 billion lives better, potentially. You may not get to 1 billion people, but potentially you can make 1 billion lives better, and the odds have just gone geometrically up for you to become a billionaire. And if not a billionaire, a whole bunch of money. When you leave here today, my obsession is to drive as many of you lazy bastards across the goal line as humanly possible before I die. That's it. If I have to hurt you, spit on you, call your mother a whore, I don't care. The 2% mindset. These are the things that you do outside the circle, but your comfort zone is based on fear, procrastination, settling for less, regret. 98% of the people in this room are in the 98%, not the 2%. But I can say that in any room. QLA isn't about being a 2%er. QLA is being about a 0.0002%. Of the 7.5 billion people on the planet, maybe 500,000 people are capable of doing this. Most of you in this room have never been held accountable for anything in your life. And look at the result. Don't you got something better to do on the weekends? I've had women come to the seminar. They talk to their mother 15 times a day. Now listen to this. 15 fucking times a day. What possibly can you tell your fucking mother 15 fucking times a day? Other than neurotic shit. What? 15 times a day! You hang out with monkeys, what happens? Your life becomes a fucking circus. I was being reminded backstage, the first time somebody met me is when I almost killed myself racing dune buggies in 1999. And that's when my shoulder and my clavicle and a few other things got busted up. Because I'm pushing myself out of my comfort zone. And to get me out of my comfort zone, you got to do some pushing. Because I'm not afraid of anything or anyone. Having been run over by a buffalo, water buffalo, in Australia, almost killed me. I got up off the ground, like Quasimodo, chased it down for 2 kilometers and killed it. I felt like a truck ran over me. It did. And I continued to push myself. We were in New Zealand, 40 to 60 mile an hour gusted winds, and a bunch of kids like you. When the wind stops, I'm gonna jump that motherfucker. When that wind stops. 20 minutes later, we're standing in line. I go give the guy at the front line, here's $100. The wind died down, didn't it? Yes, sir. I jump. I come back to the back of the line, there's still, when that fucking wind dies down, I'm gonna jump this cocksucker. They're still waiting in that goddamn line. Because there's never an easy time to make a hard decision. Never. If your adult child needs a safe space to avoid offensive words, you failed as a fucking parent. Now, if somebody came and spit in your wife's face, your daughter's face, you're standing there, your mother's face. Where I come from, there's only one alternative. But you know what at least 50% of the answers we get to say? Well, I try to ascertain if he was having a bad day. Or I try to ascertain where he's coming from in life. Maybe he came from the body or the ghetto. Are you fucking crazy? The guy just fucking spit in your mother's face, you stupid morons. There's only one fucking alternative. You beat him down through the pavement or die trying. There's never a good time to make a hard decision or get bad news. Never. In my experience, sooner is always better than later. You want at the meeting people that are decision makers. And if it is a committee, you want the whole committee there. How many people? There's 3 of us. I said, well, fine. Well, then could you get back to my secretary and tell us when all 3 of you are available for a Zoom call? All 3 of you. And you want them to make a verbal commitment on the Zoom call. How do you like the deal? Yeah. And if they don't like the deal, what can we do to change this to make it acceptable to you gentlemen? Right then. You don't let them off the hook unless you get a yes or a no. No, and then even a no. You come out. What about it could it make it a yes? And normally it's 99.9999%, even with a world-class board, it's about them getting over the no equity in the deal. Them getting over that hurdle. It's a big fucking hurdle. And some bankers that you're going to talk to will have never done a deal where you didn't put up equity. Never in their 20-year, 30-year career. Never. It's unheard of. Most of your board members, unless they've been on a board, a QLA board, have never been involved in a deal where somebody didn't write a big fucking check to get the thing rolling. Never. So you got to convince your board first before you're going to convince the damn banker. But you got to contact the bankers. If you framed it correctly, the bank will not take you down the LTV, loan to value. See, you don't want them to go down the loan to value because that's just how everybody loans money. You got a $10 million deal, we'll give you 60%. And let's say it's valued at $10 million, we'll loan you $6 million. That's not what we're doing here. That's the old LTV trick. We're not doing that. And that's why when you frame it, remember, not every bank is going to say yes, even when cash flow covers debt service. Not everyone's going to say fucking yes. They won't like the structure. Thank you very much. Fuck you when you leave. And that's what you want. But not everybody's going to like it. And individual bankers may not like you. You may be the 5th QLA bot they saw this month. As long as the deal stands up on its own 2 feet and cash flow covers the debt service, there's no reason why a bank shouldn't do it. Doesn't mean they will do it. Because at the end of the day, they're only worried about, concerned about, care about the debt service, the credit being serviced on time. That's the only thing that they care about. And there are charts. When you buy $1 million company, you don't start paying yourself $500,000 a year. There are charts put out by E&Y and KPMG and Oxford University. Companies 1 to 5 million, average, medium salaries of executives and board members. A CEO, a $2 million entity, probably is going to get paid somewhere between 100 and 150. A $10 million revenue. A $10 million entity is going to get paid between 250 and 350. That's not where you're making the money, the salary. You're making the money on the bonuses that you're pulling out for vis-a-vis over finance. That's where the money is. When they open up their services, interview 10 banks, and the bank that has done the most recent healthcare, if it's healthcare, the most recent healthcare transaction, you find out what those parameters were. And the bank that has done the longest, distant, not in miles, but I mean 2 years ago or 18 months ago, well, their parameters. But you're generally going to get a spread of plus or minus 5 or 10%. They're all doing deals at the same parameters. Now, there's not price fixing that banks get accused of. There's price fixing. They may not do it on a spreadsheet that they send by email, but everybody is plus or minus 10% the same rates because they feel that's being competitive. And I guess it is. It's being competitive. but it's also price fixing. So I said, I once testified in court, so it's competitive price fixing, but it's still damn price fixing.